Okay, yoga of the mind. Okay, I'm gonna talk about ice cream sundaes first. That's what I need to know that we're doing. Okay, what's up? Today it's hot out. It's been kind of hot, so we're gonna make some like cold desserts. We're gonna do 2 ice cream sundaes. Obviously, we're gonna elevate them a little bit. I'm not gonna make my own ice cream because I don't have an ice cream machine, but I bought some of the best ice cream, and we're gonna make some cool garnishes. We're gonna make like a sweet and salty one, and then the other one will be like kind of fruity white chocolate almond vibe. We'll make like an almond brittle, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so for the first sundae, we're gonna do a white sesame and almond brittle with some macerated blackberries and a white chocolate sauce, and that's it. Brendan, you look like you're hyped about that. So brittle's kind of, I think like it's kind of intimidating to make because it's candy, and if you burn sugar, it's a nightmare. It can ruin your pots and be awful. So we're gonna make it like non-traditionally with lots of fat. So like traditionally you cook it with water and sugar and you don't touch it, because if you touch it you ruin your pot, and that's like really scary, and I don't even like doing that unless I have a candy thermometer, which I don't. So I'm gonna do like a high fat one with corn syrup, all the things you're not supposed to eat basically. So I got a 1/4 cup of butter in here, and you want equal parts. We're gonna slowly melt that over like medium low, like I got on 4. And then you want the same amount of sugar. So just measure it out. We did 1/4 cup of butter. We want a 1/4 cup of sugar, and that is white sugar. And just don't add this until obviously your butter is melted. And so yeah, to that, like we're gonna cook everything together. So I got about just over a 1/2 cup of almonds. It depends, like you don't really have to measure the almonds. If you want it like mostly nuts, then just like use double that. Or if you just like it like mostly brittle and a few nuts, like you can't do it wrong. Okay, I'm not really gonna show how I did these because I needed them done, but it's like so easy. They're just a couple of fresh blackberries. All I did was add a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of lemon zest, and some powdered sugar, and a pinch of salt. And these are just macerating. You can see like, you can cook it and make a compote, but I really like the fresh blackberry flavor. So that's gonna be our topping for our first sundae. And that can just sit. And as these berries break down and they're in that powdered sugar, you can kind of like mush them up and get them to create a little bit of a sauce. Okay, so our butter's melted. I'm gonna add all of our almonds. What's nice about cooking them like this is these are raw almonds, so you'll end up toasting them. And also, I'm gonna add a little bit of white sesame in here. I really like the sesame flavor with sugar. Reminds me of those like little sesame snaps, those cookies, that's what they're called, right? I'm gonna do equal parts sugar. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla to this. If you're using vanilla extract like I am, just get high quality, like real vanilla extract, not the artificial. And a pinch of salt. And then you want a heat-proof spatula. Most spatulas are heat-proof, but you know, double check, because this is hot sugar. This sugar gets pretty dangerous when it's hot. So you just want to mix this around. Get everything kind of coated. That sugar will break down. And then it's kind of up to you. Like, I like to do it really slow because I don't work with sugar a ton. So I'm always scared I'm gonna burn it. So I do it for a really long time. You could probably get this done in like 5 minutes if you go over medium heat, but I'm gonna do medium low and just let that sugar slowly caramelize. it will start to bubble and form this paste. And you're just always looking at the color of that paste. So we're looking for like a caramel brown brittle flavor. I have one that I did ahead of time. And you can honestly even probably go darker than that. But like I said, I get nervous. I'm scared of sugar. 15 minutes, 20 minutes? We'll check on it. Okay, so the second sundae that we're gonna do is the sweet and salty one. So we're gonna make like a brown sugar caramel. We're gonna do like this little topping I made that's just like some peanuts and pretzels. That'll be like the salty aspect. These are like roasted shell-on peanuts that I just blitzed up, and then I added some whole ones to there as well. And some pretzels. We're gonna make a brown sugar caramel. This is like, don't worry about this, there's just like some shit on the elements, but this is like one of my favorite caramels to make because it's so easy and it tastes the best, and you don't have to like, it's not like sketchy like making other caramel where like the sugar can burn so fast. And I just think brown sugar has way more flavor. White sugar has no real flavor property, it's just sweet. Whereas brown sugar like is cooked a little bit with molasses already, so it has like this really like rich flavor. So I got 1/8 of a cup of butter in here. I'm gonna do about 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar as well. I'm just gonna eyeball this, but obviously you can measure it out. I'm a professional, kind of. And then you're just gonna let this. The thing with this caramel, why it's so perfect, is because you do have a little bit of liquid in butter with milk fat, but you have all this fat that will continue to caramelize that sugar. So we'll caramelize it a little bit, but like I said, it's brown sugar, so it is like already a little bit caramelized. So we don't have to cook this one too long. It comes together pretty relatively quickly. I'll use a little whisk. I know this is a non-stick pan, and I shouldn't have a whisk in here, but we're doing a lot of stuff right now, so this is what we got. So you can see that like instantly kind of becomes caramel. Now to this, we want to add a little bit of vanilla. Good caramel always got a little undertone of vanilla flavor. And then we're gonna go in with some heavy cream. Fuck. You really got to work fast with this because sugar, like I said, sugar burns. Okay. I like to eyeball it, but I can tell, like, because I've actually made this quite a bit. I had this on a menu back in the day, and so I kind of know the color. And so I'll just eyeball the cream. If it gets like too light colored, you're probably adding too much cream. But if you find that you added too much cream, you can just continue to cook it. The sugar, even when it's in cream or liquid, it will continue to caramelize. So that's about the color I'm looking for, that like kind of butterscotchy rich. And I'm just gonna turn it off the heat, but I'm gonna continue to whisk it until it kind of cools down. This is the best caramel, man. It's like actually the richest, best one. Okay, for plating, we're just gonna put this in like an old peanut butter jar. Fuck. Do not touch that. That will burn your hand. Okay, nice. And I don't want it like quite this hot for an ice cream sundae. We want like a warm caramel sauce, but like maybe not burn your tongue type stuff. So I'm just gonna, actually not gonna put it in the freezer today because we'll probably shatter this glass. So we'll just let it cool for a little bit and then we'll assemble the first one. I guess we'll try and plate that sundae. We'll do the caramel last, and hopefully it'll cool a little bit. I'm gonna try and, okay, so this is the ice cream I got. This stuff is high quality. If you're making like a sundae, like let's say you're on a date or something, or someone's coming over and you're making them a sundae, You better not come out with like that $3 shit ice cream that's like Lucerne, like $8 for like a bucket this big. Like, support local. People like this make good ice cream. This is not sponsored. Quebec. I shouldn't show the label. This is not sponsored. You don't get to know who this is, but yeah, just buy good ice cream. This is Tahitian vanilla. We just want, both our sundaes, we just want vanilla ice cream. And I don't have an ice cream scoop and an ice cream scoop. Oh, it would fit. It would fit for like the first layer. But they didn't, because you could only get an ice cream scoop into about here. You actually have to go deep. Oh, I guess. Well, I don't have one, so we're not gonna know. We're just gonna use a tablespoon. And I'm gonna attempt to make it look nice. But honestly, no promises. I suck at doing quenelles. And I like more surface area if I'm doing quenelles. Yeah, like, see, this doesn't work. Listen, man, I never worked in a French restaurant. But I can tell you what, this is gonna taste really good. So we're just gonna do like a small portion because Brendan has to eat 2 sundaes and also like a pretty rich grilled cheese. So I don't wanna ruin his day. We got like our salty element here. And I'm gonna do a little dusting of that so that it's got that like hot sundae vibes. And then just so we make it like really something special, I got some dark chocolate. Some quality dark chocolate that is semi-sweet because it is, you know, this is a dessert. But just so it has a little bit of that, like, you know, the caramel and chocolate kind of give it that like turtles vibe. And we're obviously not going that direction because it's sweet and salty, but just a little bit of grated chocolate on top I think is really nice. Okay.
Sorry, I should have turned it on out of focus.
I'm sorry if this is out of focus. Oh shit, yeah, you're good.
Which way? Right there?
Camera just recognized you. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah? I'll do it like this. Mm-hmm.
How's the sweet and salty aspect?
It's perfect.
How's the caramel?
I mean, yeah, I could sip on this stuff.
It's nice that it's like warm with the ice cream, hey? So this has been cooking for a bit. And the sugar will always kind of start to crystallize. And yeah, ideally what you do is you set it in a, you like put a bake sheet down and put parchment. Parchment doesn't stick. I swear I have parchment somewhere. I cannot find it anywhere right now. So we're gonna do this a really sketchy way. I don't recommend doing this, but yeah, if you don't have parchment and you wanna do it anyway, take a non-stick pan and then also grease it. So I just used a little bit of canola oil. You can use butter, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're just using it for the non-stick property. So before, when I was like measuring the ingredients, I forgot to say add corn syrup. So I did, what did I do? Equal parts. And then to that, add like a teaspoon of corn syrup. I forgot to mention that and I did it. Kind of. And if it's like, if you stopped stirring for a bit and it's kind of splitting, the fat and the sugar, you can always add more corn syrup. And that should bring it back together. That'll melt and then just like constantly stir. And that should dissolve those sugar clumps. Did I add a pinch of salt to this? If I didn't, also add a pinch of salt. Okay, so the nice thing about this brittle is like it's pretty foolproof. And then like you do use a lot of fat, but when it sets, we can actually pour off a lot of this butter. You'll see what I mean. So I've like achieved the color that I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna set this in this pan. In that greased pan. Immediately get that in there. And yeah, there'll be a lot of fat, but we'll pour that off. Also, there's a lot of fat on here because I put it in the pan. But yeah, you just want to cool this. Ideally, yeah, do this on parchment. Don't do it this way, but like I said, I'm trying to make do with what we got. And then what you'll have after it cools is this. So this is one I did earlier. It's nice. It's got that it's got everything brittle has. When this one set, I did I did season it with a little more salt too. Just because I very much like the sweet and salty. But if you're just going for the sweet, fruity, yeah, feel free to try. Not bad, hey? So with this, what we're gonna do is take a blender, a dry blender. You're gonna make sure that this is really dried out. Food processor if you have it. You can honestly even do it by hand with a knife or put it in a Ziploc bag and bang it against the counter. But I'm gonna break it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna pulse it so that I get some broken up pieces so that it's a little easier to eat in a sundae. Because if I put huge pieces like that, they are quite chewy. And I may do one of those for garnish, but I think this just makes a little bit more sense. Beautiful. Now we have this nice sesame almond brittle dust. That's gonna taste really good.
That tastes so good.
Okay, so for this second sundae, we're gonna make a white chocolate sauce. Super easy to make. 2 ingredients, well 3, because I'm gonna put a pinch of salt in here. When you're doing desserts and stuff, use salt. You put a pinch of salt in everything. Salt is a flavor enhancer. One thing Brendan even said to me when he just got here today was that I always remember to salt, and you can taste it in the desserts. And it's not to make it taste savory, it's that is a flavor enhancer, and it will really round out your flavor. So if you season, even when doing desserts, a pinch of salt all along the way, you can really taste the difference. And I think that will really elevate sweet food. And it helps make it not too sweet, because a lot of pastry stuff is just 4 cups of white sugar and there's 1 pinch of salt, and you're that's not enough. It just tastes so sweet and it hurts. And I love sweet food. So I just got some 35% whipping cream coming up to a simmer. Do equal parts ish. Essentially we're making ganache, but since we're serving it warm, it won't set. There it is. We're gonna pour this over our chips. Definitely use a fork for this, or a whisk. But yeah, we're filming a few videos today, so my whisk is in use right now. But just till it's smooth. You can also do it, you could do this in a blender. You could have your chips in there, pour your cream over top, and then you could just turn your blender on and it will come out really smooth. But I like to do it this way because I can see the consistency, because it's still really hot. So I can find it's maybe a little bit too thin for me. I'm gonna go in with a little more, just a little bit more white chocolate. And there you go, white chocolate sauce. Have a taste. Make sure it tastes okay. Tastes exactly like I want it to. And I'm just gonna let that cool. Again, the hot sauce, it'll thicken up. Everything always thickens up the colder it is, but we do want it warm because I really love the warm sauce on cold ice cream that gives you the hot sundae vibes. We live next to a Dairy Queen now. Me and Seth have been eating a lot of ice cream sundaes. Actually, we're eating a lot of blizzards, so I really want to taste this one because I always get the raspberry. It's like raspberry white chocolate fudge bliss or something. Dude, it's so fucking good, but you're like, I wonder what this would taste like with quality ice cream, you know? So this is obviously a way better version because they don't have brittle. But who knows, maybe it won't taste as good as DQ. I will be honest if what we made today does not taste as good as DQ. Okay, so we're gonna plate this one the same-ish as the other one. And all this, the elements of all this stuff hold really well. So like, feel free to do all of this ahead of time. And all you have to do when it's date night is literally plate it. And you can flex on whoever you're on the date with. And put this nice refreshing fruity aspect on there. And I'm gonna put a little bit of the almond brittle now. Some of our warm white chocolate sauce. And then I'm just gonna do one little whole piece of almond brittle in there. And that's that. That's got that like fruity white chocolate vibe. I really like desserts that are like that. I really like those flavors specifically with like the richness of good ice cream. So I'm gonna take a bite of this one before I give it to you, Brendan, because I just really want to. I gotta know. Get a little of everything. That's better than DQ, for sure. Like, guaranteed. Big advocate of Dairy Queen, but this is better, for sure. Relatively easy to make. Doesn't cost much. Yeah, so let me know if you guys make any of these. You can always hit me up on Instagram. I actually really love when people like make the food and send me DMs and like send me little photos. I think it's cute, so do it if you want. And if you don't make it and just like watching the videos, thank you very much. I actually really appreciate it. And yeah, Brendan's gonna eat this now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.